Welcome to The Real and the Woo. I'm your host, Lauri Stern. Join me as I invite experts and friends to discuss a range of topics, from the factual and practical to the mystical and magical. Consider this your virtual happy hour filled with lively, authentic, and meaningful conversations meant to inform, inspire, and ignite your curiosity. Whether you are very real or super woo, this podcast is just for you. Welcome to the Real and the Woo podcast. I am back with my Pickle crew, otherwise known, thank you, Liz, as the boardroom. I'm so pleased to have you guys back on the show. It's been a minute. There's been a lot that's happened, and I was going to lead with, out of the four of us, two of these things are like the others, and two of these things are also in that two of us have already had a wedding, and two of us are planning weddings. So that's amazing. Like, out of the four of us, there's like even Steven.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's awesome. And
Pam, all you're within basically a year and a half period.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm lucky that we can celebrate and share 4 happy things.
Yep. I know, right? So, I'm knocking all of the wood. So since we last met, I think, Pam, we met before Max's wedding, right?
I think so. Yeah. Was it before Max's wedding?
I think it was before Max's wedding, yeah, because then you had a little surgery.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
So Correct. Then, that put us off schedule just a bit.
Yeah.
And we're glad you're okay. And Liz and Stephie, I'm not sure. Well, Stephie, you know this, but Liz, I'm not sure you know this. I actually went and did a prolon. And I
do know that. You did it. You did it before the wedding.
Before the wedding. And I survived the cashews, but towards the end I had to switch bars because I started getting a little,
What did you switch to?
Just the bars that I have that are keto friendly or whatever.
Okay. All right.
How did you feel, Lauri, when you were finished with it?
Stephie never texted me back. I didn't know she was doing it.
So fucking hungry.
On Wednesday, definitely like the hump day for me, because I started, I want to say, Sunday night. So Wednesday was like, make it or break it. And then she was like...
Wait, did you and Stephie do it together?
No, inadvertently. I didn't know that we were kind of doing it a little bit on the same time. But I have to say, I felt really good. And what I really liked is, truthfully, up until like this week, because we were talking before we started, I've been drinking a little bit more since before the wedding. I feel a little doughier, but it did last a very long time. And my mental clarity was good. And I wanted to talk to you guys too. I know the last couple of times we've been together, we're not always going to talk about prolon. But I want to hop off because on the Today Show this morning, they were talking about women in menopause and new symptoms coming down. And I'm sure you guys know all this because I'm not on the cutting edge, that things like frozen shoulder and joint problems
oh my God,
are now being considered within the umbrella of what they don't know that women already know, that menopause fucks us up and doctors are catching up. And I thought of you, Liz, and I thought of you, Pam, and I thought of you, Stephie. So Liz wants to speak. Go. And cheers. One second. Cheers.
It's so funny that you say that because I was watching probably the Instagram this morning and I was scrolling and Michael Rappaport comes on. And he's asking everybody if they know what to do for frozen shoulder. And his wife is in the background saying, my wife has frozen shoulder. And she's like, menopause. And so she was just talking about it literally a couple hours ago on Instagram. Everything is coming out on what can be related and not related. And it's kind of nice because we don't think like we're going cuckoo all the time.
Mm-hmm. I was going cuckoo. You guys know what happened to me.
Yeah.
I went through menopause. It was totally done with everything. And like, when was this? Maybe 5 months ago? 4 or 5 months ago, I started.
I don't know. I can't remember because I'm through the menopause.
I can't remember. Whatever. It was at least a few months ago. I started thinking that I was having heart problems.
Oh, yeah.
My heart was racing all the time. When I was walking, usually like if I get like a heart race, like if I walk or do some exercise, it'll calm it down. When I was walking, my heart was, I couldn't breathe. I was sweating through my clothes again, waking up at night. I had a meltdown in a yoga class that I was teaching. We won't discuss it. It was,
You did talk about that.
It was bad.
Done.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I went to my internist because I thought I was having heart problems. And I was telling her about my heart problems. And she's like, sounds like menopause. I'm like,
Speaking of
I'm
hot
done
flash.
with menopause. I know, I'm sweating too.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm done with menopause. And she's like, well, I don't think so. All these symptoms are menopause. So she put me back on hormones again, like the estradiol. And within 4 days, I was like, whoa, like my whole internal, everything, not just my internal was like, hey, there you are again. I literally thought I was losing my mind. I couldn't function at all. It was, Liz,
Okay, sorry, I have a question. So, two-sided question. Number one, with the estradiol, that's different than estrogen, yes? So you don't have to do progesterone with it?
Estradiol, I believe, is estrogen.
It's estrogen. So
it's the bioidentical.
Right.
Estradiol is the stuff you can use as a cream. You can put it up your
You can put it in your vag.
And then you can also take it as a pill, like back in the birth control days. And that's what
My other question is, and this is for further discussion down the road. I'm so sorry, Lauri, it's falling out.
Yeah, sorry.
Is that
And Pam.
I thought you went through menopause early, Stephie. I thought that once you reach the 10-year, that window kind of closes on what works and what not. But obviously I'm wrong. So the questions of menopause,
Pam.
Do you guys follow a doctor? I think it's Mary Claire. Okay, so she's like the menopause expert.
Wait, is that the magazine? Same person?
No.
Oh,
Marie Claire Haver, something. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And so I just saw she posted she's going to be on Oprah and they're doing a whole episode on whatever Oprah's channel is on menopause. So they're discussing all of this, everything from bioidentical hormones to this and that. But Liz, yes, with the estradiol, you still have to do progesterone. My understanding is you still have to do the progesterone with whether it's the estradiol or the estrogen, but I think most of us do the bioidentical. So Stephie, you're doing the progesterone.
I just take the oral pill. That's it.
It's but only the estradiol. So I was going to say too, so Jill Foose, I guess her maiden name's Foose, but remember Jill Motu?
Yeah.
She was just on the Drew Barrymore show. She's coming on the podcast and we're going to talk about all this thing. Yes. And I was like drooling like girl crush and like, how did you get on a show? I want to be on a show talking about my stuff. And so we'll talk about that, but I'm sure she's on the cutting edge of everything, back in the day. And I'm going to talk to her about this. Remember she was like the Zuma bread. She was like all the gluten-free and then selling that stuff.
Yes,
and then she's
out of her house. Yeah. Stephanie, I just bought her old house and sold it. But
I just love how, you just continue on the path and you keep growing and evolving. And it's just the same sort of idea that I've got something to share. And first it was the food and now it's the information. So, good for her. And I'll let you guys know when she's coming on. It's funny that you mentioned the Oprah because, my whole thing has been the whole let them theory. And just yesterday, that Cassie Phillips, who's the real let them girl. Heather McDonald has a podcast. I love her. She's so hilarious. And she was quoting some guy that was saying, according to what I know, Mel Robbins didn't come up with the idea. And the tattoos and all the shit came from when Cassie came out with it. And I've really been enjoying watching Cassie jump into her skin and own her light. Because you know what? There's a lot of people who are like, who do you think you are? And, Mel Robbins is the shit. And I'm like, Mel Robbins is shit. And, she's great with what she's doing, but she's got to give this girl credit at some point. And the fact that Oprah had her on, I'm just wondering if you guys remember that 10,000 or a million, whatever, with that guy that wrote the pills. And he found it was like plagiarized or something. And Oprah's like, oh God, I didn't know. It's like, Oprah,
I
honey.
vaguely remember that.
Right?
I do too. I just don't remember what it was called.
It's like 10,000. I had it. But so we'll just see. I'm just kind of waiting, eating my popcorn. Like this is all going to come out just like the menopause research and all the other stuff. And
I'm hoping, and I can't say because I haven't researched it. I really haven't, probably nearly as much as you have. I actually do like her a lot, but I'm hoping that she has given credit somewhere along the way and hasn't said, I completely made this up. Because everything else about her, I like, and I find her relatable.
Right. And that's the thing, like, the difference is, and I think I talked about this on one of the videos I was doing, wherever she got the idea from, and hopefully she'll give Cassie Phillips credit, she's made a movement out of it. Cassie Phillips hadn't yet, right? So Mel Robbins took her own Mel Robbins secret sauce and made it this whole thing. And that's great. And she's helping a lot of people. Where I come at it, and you guys know, is she doesn't take it far enough in terms of what I consider her responsibility when you're trying to be this coach or this guru, whether she claims to be or not. Society's made her one. And there's other pieces to that theory that you need to understand yourself before you really get it, or you're not going to stay on the path. And that's my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
Pam, you've got a look on your face, Pam. Why don't you share?
No. I'm just thinking, I've heard about Mel Robbins and this whole let them through you guys. And of course now on social media, but I haven't read anything more about it. But what I was going to say is what I'm thinking is, we all pick up ideas from other people, like in yoga, a sequence that we like, and do we always give the other person credit? Because I think our whole life is picking up ideas and inspirations from other people. However, the fact that she's made a movement out of it, and it came from, who did you say?
What?
Who did you say it originally came from?
Cassie Phillips.
Cassie Phillips. And did she pick it up from someone else? Like, it's like we're all picking things up from other people that motivate us and inspire us.
Right. Well, and the blog post I did was just about that. Like, we all pull from an energetic universal pot, and we all use our individual ladles. Where we can give credit, we give credit, right? So whether I get a song from you guys or an idea from someone else, if I can, I like to say, oh yeah, I didn't make this up, it's from so-and-so. And people sometimes don't give a shit, but I give a shit. Like, oh, this is such a Pam thing or a Stephie thing or a Liz thing. You're like, wow, that's a Liz thing,
Right.
And, so anyway, so where you can give credit, you should give credit.
Yeah.
I agree. You're not wrong.
Yeah.
You're not wrong.
Yeah.
My mother used to say, we all just want to be validated.
Exactly.
So when I was little, I would be, and my mom would take her hand and pretend to stamp my forehead and go, you are validated.
That's so good. That's so good.
That should be, that's a blog right now. I love that. All right. So what do you want to talk about besides everything?
Weddings. Let's talk about your wedding. We have to talk about your wedding.
Oh my gosh. It was so amazing.
It was
so
amazing.
Beautiful.
I'm so glad you guys are there.
The chuppah alone. The chuppah
and everything. Every single detail, Lauri, was absolutely incredible.
Your whole family was beaming. Your whole family was beaming.
I mean, we still, honestly, we still are. I mean, Emily was just here over the weekend, and we're still sort of like and Pam, you can attest to this too, like you're still sort of recapping. I didn't have time with anybody, I felt like, which is what happened. But the difference was I've never been so happy for so many days in a row. And I can't even identify that as stress. Like, we've all been through the bar and bat mitzvahs and stuff, and that is stress. You're schlepping, you're hosting at your house, you're running back and forth. And the fact that everybody was mostly in one spot, and it was a beautiful spot. And all I prayed for was that everyone arrive safely and on time and return home safely and on time. That no one lost their luggage, and that the weather was great, and that no one got
weather was beautiful.
Sick. And that's really what I wanted. And then everything else was gravy. And I have to give Emily and Kevin and Rick, and I've told you guys, a lot of credit. Like, I came in at the very last end with the room bags. I love that shit. But the details, the wedding planner, oh my God.
Yeah.
I'm hopeful
the band
we have all of our weddings there all the time.
The band was great.
Yes.
The band was great. Lauri, I got to tell you
amazing.
something, though, that's really special, and it's really, really hard to do. But I was watching you that whole time, that whole weekend that we were together. And one of the biggest tricks is it goes so fast. But if you can be really present, not just in body, but in everybody around you and what you're doing, to me, you looked fully present, beaming the entire time, zero stress, and really, really enjoying and getting everything out of it that you possibly could.
Yeah, thank you.
That's how you came.
And yet I still feel like I don't remember anything. I don't remember eating.
It's normal.
I know I didn't drink too much, but I just
remember
singing. I remember singing, and that was a whole
that was
other thing.
awesome.
It was
Thank
awesome.
you. I mean, I fucked up, but thank you. That was, I even said to Emily, like, I'm so sorry that I didn't like have more balls to say no. And, she's like, what are you talking about? That was great. And then, you guys and everybody else is like, if you can sing and you sing
what are you
and you
talking
can do it
about?
at your
was
kid's
amazing.
wedding, you should do it.
Yeah. I'm a little surprised to hear you say that
Me too.
you would have said no.
You know what?
Me
It
too.
wasn't my day. And it was like that kind of a little bit of a balance between, anyway. So it all,
You didn't
it was
sing the
fine. But
whole
that
night.
woman
You
wanted
sang
to
one
kill me.
time.
And it was your daughter's wedding. How
You
special.
sang one song.
Yeah.
Perfect.
We were all like, that girl up there, she's so intimidating. And I was like, singing with her. I'm like, let's be friends,
It's great.
Plus, it was toward the end of the night. I mean, we were all like hooping it up.
Yeah. I just remember doing like disco lines with you guys, and that was really
It was
fun.
so fun.
Yeah, it was really
I
fun.
tried my disco line. I was not successful at all, but I tried.
It was fun.
Yeah.
It was
I mean,
great.
Pam,
Beautiful.
you and Max did a whole little dance together.
dance.
I mean, how long did
The
you
dance, but again, like looking back, they were supposed to start it with a slow song. So we were supposed to have like a minute of just like a nice, slow mother-son dance. And they started right and then break into the fun stuff with that. But there's always little things, but
Rick and I didn't get a dance.
You know what? Stephie, I remember you saying it at Max's wedding.
Yes.
Like, I was running around and dancing with people and all
That's
over.
true.
I feel like I barely saw Glenn at Max's
Yeah.
wedding.
Because we have to remember that. We have to dance
Right.
with our
Yes.
husbands at least once.
Yeah. So we can dance with ours and get a do-over.
Yes.
Right, exactly.
Exactly. Yeah. But Stephie, where are you in the planning stages and anything like that?
You know what? I'm the mother of the groom. It's going to be very traditional. She's just hired a party planner. All I have to do is contact the party planner and let her help me do a rehearsal dinner. Liz has got a totally different situation. Mine is going to be very traditional, where I'm not going to do very much of anything other than a rehearsal dinner and then show up to somebody else's. So it'll be
nice.
It's going to be great.
It'll be much easier than my girls' weddings.
Yes, I saw, and I think I asked you because I knew you were out of town, just because I couldn't sub for you. But then I think it was Julia with the dogs.
Yeah, she took the dogs.
And I'm like, I didn't know who it was, and then I saw her running, and I'm like, oh, that's not Stephie.
Yeah.
Hard
Just
pass.
because I know you don't do that.
Unless something's chasing me, I'm not running.
All right. So, Pam, when are you back here for Pickle? Actual Pickle?
I come back in May, like the first week of May. I'll be back.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so, Liz, catch us up then. So what's new? I think you were away after the wedding also, or you went just away before?
I'm in Colorado.
Oh, you're in Colorado right now?
I'm in Colorado right now.
Oh.
Yeah. So we got here. We came back from the wedding. We had a week at home, and then we hit the road. So we've been here 2 weeks today.
Okay.
And you've got another 6 weeks, right?
Yeah. I'll be home around the 10th of April.
And
So nice.
Do you ski? Remind me when you're out there. Or you guys just hike?
No, I learned how to ski about 3 years ago.
Okay.
I really got my confidence last year. I was scared shitless for a long time, but I got my confidence last year. This year, because Danny had shoulder surgery,
Right.
he cannot ski. But I've gone a few times, once with a friend, twice with myself. I will keep going. It's enjoyable. I like to go to Buttermilk. Buttermilk, their slogan is relax, it's buttermilk. You can't really screw up. And if you go the wrong way, all the lifts will take you back to the top, because I am directionally challenged.
That's nice.
100%. Every year I do something really wrong. Last year I had to hike out of a black because I started to go down one because I got my mountains mixed up. But I caught myself and I climbed back up and went down the right way. So I'm getting there.
Yeah.
But we're hiking.
Pam, when you go out to Colorado, are you guys during snow season, Pam? You ski.
Yeah. I ski,
Okay.
although I don't know if I'll ski again now. We'll see. But, between
your head?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I know I can't ski for at least a year because of my head. And I'm just a little like now after that, with what my head's been through the last few years, I'm like, yeah, I'll ski again. We'll see.
You could come to Buttermilk.
Yeah.
Relax, it's Buttermilk.
Yeah.
Relax,
I'll do Buttermilk. So we normally go out in March, and we haven't the last 2 years, I think, because it's hard to leave Arizona when it's so gorgeous.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah. And then we usually go over, Labor Day or Memorial Day weekend, but we've had weddings. 2 years, last year we had a wedding, and then this year we have a wedding. So we won't be going then. So hopefully we can all go.
Yeah, I know. We're
so
supposed to talk.
fun.
I was thinking like, yes, and we've got so many wonderful things coming up too. And
yeah.
But I sent Stephie an email with a bunch of Dude Ranch stuff on it. And,
I know. We got it. I know. I still think that for our 60th, we should all put our favorite, like each one of us put our favorite thing that we want for our 60th, put it in a bag, and then decide that way. Because I'm sure what I want to do for my 60th is not what, you know what I mean?
Stephie and I were talking about this. I liked the idea. Stephie, I think you came up with this idea that, maybe what we do, since literally it's 4 years in a row. So it's first Lauri, then Liz, then Stephie, then me. Literally 4 years in a row, all of our 60ths, that maybe what we do is like for each of our 60th, we do a weekend, whether it's like Geneva or Galena or whatever. And then we do one big trip with all four of us, because are we going to do a big trip every year for 4 years?
No. That's what I was thinking too, with weddings as well.
And weddings, right.
Yeah. So I thought, Kohler, I've never been to Kohler. Dude Ranch, never been to Dude Ranch. Like I'm happy to acquiesce. I don't have a wish list other than just to be with you guys, honestly. So we can even go downtown and stay in a hotel, which is like not so fun, but it could be. Yeah,
that's so fun.
Yeah,
it is. It's really fun.
And then we can plan one big trip. We can figure out the best time, that whether it be a Dude Ranch or whether it be New York or whatever, and do a celebration for all four of us. Maybe
so
Europe
I'm first.
Maybe Europe, and Ben.
Your old Lauri.
Looking at rings and getting engaged this summer.
I'm not going to Europe right now, honey.
Do you guys want to hear what happened to me this morning?
Of course.
Oh my God. Okay. So I go to get my hair colored, which I've not had it colored since I arrived here. So it's been December, January, February, almost 4 months, right?
That's what's different about you. It's your hair color.
It's dark.
Well, so I'll take it. I'll show you in a minute. So for the last couple of months, I've just been doing the powder to cover the gray. And, I'm like, maybe I'll just let the gray come in. And I'm like, no, it was driving me crazy. Let me just go get it colored. So I just walk into a place, me with my haircuts and colors. And it happens to be a girl who is like my hair and similar to my color. And so I had an appointment this morning at 9 a.m. Okay, 9 a.m. And when I walked in, I had sent her pictures before. I said, my main goal is to be in the chair for as little time as possible. Like I can't stand sitting there getting, because I said, so at home, they do like a glaze, and at the same time, they do a couple of highlights. So I don't have to sit for two different things. At home, it's maybe an hour. 4 hours and almost $400 later.
What?
They charged me extra because I have so much hair, and they had to keep going to get more color. I'll show you. So, and
you didn't. I
said I want to
looks great.
It looks amazing.
Now I can see the blonde pieces. I couldn't see them,
but I like it right around my face.
Oh no, it looks so good.
Yeah, it looks so good.
It's like she did a great job. Like I can't see what I'm showing you, but like
did a great job.
Every time she put the highlights in, then she would comb through, and I'm like I've never had somebody do that. She's like, it's so blends and you don't see the demarcation and this and that. And every detail, 4 hours.
It does look really, really good.
It looks really good.
You were going lighter and lighter for.
I know. I really like your hair, Pam.
Yeah.
What, Stephie?
I love your hair.
You do? You like the color?
Love it.
We have a guest coming. I see.
Happy Debbie already heard the story because I called her.
We'll see how she
4
does.
hours. What did you do for 4 hours in the chair?
Oh my God. I almost literally I had to keep myself from screaming at her.
I bet.
Hi, Debbie.
Hi, Debbie. Am I allowed to talk? Hi.
Yeah. Yes, you can talk. Pam was just showing us her hair. So for those of you that don't know, today is a special day in the Pickle Crew world because I've entitled the episode Pickle Crew +2. And so one has shown up because we have honorary Pickle Crew members, and Debbie is one of them. Hi, Debbie.
Hi, Debbie.
So good to see you.
Yeah, good to see you too. Cheers. Do you have a drink? Cheers to you.
Of course I do.
Yeah.
Cheers.
Cheers. Cheers. Oh, okay. All right.
Hi, Deb. I haven't seen you in so long.
I know. How are you?
Good.
Yeah.
How
I know.
are
I
you?
miss you guys.
We miss
I
you.
know, miss you.
Yeah.
Wait, how
How nice
close
that
are
we get to
you
do this,
two?
though.
Because I know you're in Arizona also. Are you like 20 minutes, 30 minutes from each other?
20-ish, 18,
Yeah.
20.
Yeah.
Yeah. Much
Not
closer
too
than
far.
in the past.
Deb, did you
Hi
tell,
there.
does she know? Hi, do you guys both go to the same place to get your hair colored?
But I called her right when I left and I said, oh my God, I
Never
was
go back.
here for 4
Are
hours.
you happy with it? I didn't see. Are you happy
Yeah,
with it?
I
beautiful.
I'll show you.
It looks great.
Well,
For
thank goodness it looks
$400,
great.
it better
Yeah.
look fucking great.
Well, it was like
Exactly.
370 something. Yeah.
It looks great though.
But
Yeah.
it's not, I don't have the blonde that I like, the brightness, but I do kind of like the
I
way
like this. It's
It
I
looks
love
like you
it.
do from here.
beautiful, Pam.
That's okay.
Do you know what it is?
Yeah.
Like when I
love
was
that.
highlighting my hair all the time, I would look at myself in pictures and it would almost be like I was completely washed out. So I
Yeah.
like that
Yep.
you're around your face is a little darker
Yeah.
because then your face kind of pops more.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
definitely get washed out when I highlight it too much. And I told her that. I said, I want to keep enough of
Yeah.
the dark in, but I just wanted a little brightness around my face. But that's okay.
Yeah. Well, I
Looks
wanted to
great.
circle back to before Debbie came on, but of course you're going to participate and thank you for joining us. The SNL, the music episode, and then the actual episode. I want to talk about that. For the music one, I loved it. It was great. But I
Loved.
expected and I wanted more of like the old school skits. I didn't want the new shit. I don't need the new shit. Like I wanted to see Chevy Chase. I want to see Danny Aykroyd and Gilda Radner. Like, did you guys have that same reaction or what?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
I didn't mind seeing what I did see because I did love it all. But the whole time I was like, where's Dan Aykroyd? Where's Gilda Radner? Where's
Gilda
the
Radner's dead.
burger?
Well,
like
of
all
course.
of that.
Right. But I mean, in terms of the skit.
Well, they
right?
had Eddie Murphy there. Dana Carvey was sick. He was supposed to be there. He could not make it. That I know. I would have liked to have seen him. But I, the older cast, they did come. I mean, Lorraine Newman was in it for a moment, and they tried to do some of that old stuff. But I just
Bill Murray was too, wasn't he?
Yeah, he
Bill Murray
was. He
in
did.
it.
He did the news. I just meant like I wanted to see more old clips of like.
Oh
I wanted like a full Conehead thing, where I wanted a full like land shark thing.
Yeah, but the people who watch it today, they may not know that stuff. I mean, maybe they wanted to make it contemporary.
They should get edumacated then. As my dad would say, educate them, right?
We had the same feeling when we were watching it. We loved the Saturday night. Missed the Friday because I didn't even know that it was on. And I just like the nostalgia of the Sunday night one. But I agree with you. I would have liked to have seen more old skits.
Yeah, for sure.
I can't believe 50 years though. And when you think about when we were that, 50 years ago and like being able to stay up late and like you felt
love that
like
show.
it was such a privilege. And
I used to stay up and watch after it SCTV. Did you guys watch SCTV?
Oh, sometimes.
Oh
What's
my
that?
God, with John
I
Candy.
think we had that.
And Levy and Catherine O'Hara. No offense to SCTV, but I thought, I mean, no offense to Saturday Night, but I liked SCTV better.
I've never. What's it called? What was it called?
SCTV. It was like
I've never heard of that.
was a
Closer
Canadian-
to TV, something.
Yeah, it's a Canadian version of Saturday Night Live, but it had all the old players, like all the Canadian old players, really, really unhinged. It was funny.
Wow.
But I
talking
know they
about-
had that in New York.
I don't know if they had it in St. Louis. Maybe they did.
If they had it in Milwaukee, they had it in. It just came on right
Probably.
after Saturday Night Live.
Yeah.
At least in Milwaukee, it did.
Before you came on, Debbie, we were talking about snow skiing, and I was actually going to bring up, I was watching The View when I was working out this morning, and Chelsea Handler was on. And I guess she's got a tradition now. She skis in bikinis, and Gold Bond is now sponsoring this bikini ski. How do you guys feel about that? Would you do it?
Well,
I'll know.
No, but she does it. Hold
A
on.
lot of
I
this,
see her
maybe.
do it for her birthday with a drink in one hand, a big fat joint in the other,
Oh my God.
and her dog on her back.
Wow.
Really? Wow.
Yes.
That's talent.
I got to send you. She just did a podcast for I can't remember who it was, but she talks about how she loves to party and she never wants to give it up. So she is going to take herself to the point of like not being addicted. Like she wants to party enough where she has fun, but not take it to the point where she has to quit anything. So she tries to walk the fine line that we're all trying to walk right now.
That's funny.
And so when you say that she's going down with a joint and a drink in her bikini, she's like, F this. This is how I want to live a life.
Yep, this is me.
Yeah.
What a woman.
She looks
What
good.
a woman.
She looks
I
good.
miss
She
her
can do it.
show. I used to love her show. Like, I really miss her show.
So funny.
Funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, her show was great. I wonder why, what happened to it?
And her dog, what was her dog? Chunk?
Chunk.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. I love that.
She's just unapologetically who she is. She's fine in her skin, whether you like her or hate her. She just doesn't care, which is the way to be.
Yeah.
I mean, don't you guys feel like as we get older, don't you all feel like that? Like more times than not. I know we talk about the what the fox and looking in the mirror and getting older, but mostly, aren't you kind of happy with where you're at?
Yeah.
Much more than
last time that we talked about it, Stephie? I feel like I spoke about it with you. There was a woman on social media, and there's something specific that happens when you go through menopause or when you're through menopause that happens metabolically, that you really truly, there's a reason you give less of a shit.
There's a hormone. Pam would know it more.
I don't know that hormone, but I love it.
There's actually like when you're, as a woman, when you're young, your job is, to procreate. So you have all these hormones. Women generally have all these hormones that make you like, oh, whatever you need. And, it's like these mothering hormones. And then as you age, you lose those mothering hormones. So you give less fucks. Pam could research it to the earth and find out.
Pam, go.
But there is some hormone that women stop producing as we age, which makes it easier to give less Fs.
I'm going to research that tonight, and I'll get back.
That's going to be our next podcast, Pam.
Between the sweet pea and then us not giving a fuck, we're able to just like do whatever the hell we want to.
Yep.
Yeah.
Debbie, sweet pea. Do you know about the sweet pea?
No.
Some people want to invent, like women use the estrogen cream, right, to like help their hormones. And if a man put the estrogen cream on
and make them more sensitive.
Yes, and more like touchy-feely. And so we decided to call that sweet pea because you could have it on your finger and say, "Oh, sweet pea, I love you so much," and rub it, and they wouldn't know. Next thing you know, you're just having the best time with your girlfriend.
They want to give you a back rub just to make your back feel better.
We were talking about just gently walking by them and saying, "Oh, hi, sweetheart."
Yeah.
But
well,
you guys,
Pam,
you were
with me that night when we discovered that Richard was maybe touching my thing.
Yes.
What was Richard touching?
So I use that. I've been using it for a long time. Since I had a hysterectomy. And one night Richard touched my leg. He's like, what is that? And it was the estrogen cream. And he was freaking out. Is it possible that you can have a reaction to it?
I think you need to do another study, like a double-blind study.
Don't tell Richard. Although now we'll all know.
Right. Liz and Stephie, you do it to them. We won't, and let's see what happens.
Can you just see Greg with
He's like, "I'm so sad right now. Can you hold me?
Honey, let me just tickle your back."
Right.
That's so funny.
Greg's like, "I don't want to go play another game of Pickle, Stephie. Can you just hold my hand?"
Oh my God. But do you guys remember how we came up with the name Sweet Pea? Does anybody remember?
You and I and Riva and maybe Lauri were sitting outside at Norton's.
Yeah.
The Nortons.
We were saying that it had to be something sort of incognito. Like you couldn't, something that our husbands wouldn't know and something, whatever. But I don't know how Sweet Pea came up.
It came up because also we're talking about it. I'm like, okay, what are we going to call it? What are we going to call it? Blah, blah, blah. And some guy walked up with this cute dog. And we said, what's your dog's name? And he said, Sweet Pea.
Oh, that's funny.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's perfect.
Right.
That's really funny.
Like, who would ever know? Right. Nobody could ever trust us for that.
Well, because I'm the oldest one here, I grew up singing a song called "Oh Sweet Pea." Do you guys know that song?
No.
Oh, sweet pea, come on and dance with me. Come on, come on, come on and dance with me. I used to sing it all. Hi, Glenn. I used to sing it all the time. Hi, Glenn. Like, we're talking about you.
Good
No,
night,
we're not.
everybody.
Speaking of Norton's, I have a note because I want to get sponsorship. And I thought to myself, I should reach out to them and see
Yes,
if
you
they would be
should.
into it, just for a little plug of the Nortons, because we talk about them all the time anyway. I should get a little kickback.
You should.
Yeah.
You absolutely should.
Yeah. So
Listen, nobody
I'm
pours a
gonna
drink
work on
like they do at Norton's. They
Yeah.
know.
That's for sure.
I know. It's
First, they
crazy.
have to sponsor Lauri, and then we will go to town for them.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So Debbie, what's up in your life?
Nothing. Just enjoying Arizona. I'm heading home in a couple weeks, so have some friends coming in this weekend. So looking forward to that.
Tell them about your elbow, Debbie.
Oh yeah. What's going on?
Oh well, it's I'm so tired of my elbow. It's like the never-ending
Oh no,
story.
I thought it was
Just
better.
no, it's not
The
better.
bulge from another planet.
I have a little tear. I have tennis elbow, so I can't play my sport. So that's a little
Do you have to
difficult.
fix the tear? Do you have to fix the tear?
I did PRP, which is they
What's
take
that?
out your
Yeah.
blood and they spin
Oh,
it
yeah.
and put it back in. Today's 3 weeks. I'm doing PT again. I wouldn't really say I'm noticing a difference.
When are you
so
supposed to with the blood?
I don't know. So it's a little frustrating. And we'll
That's
see.
so cool though that they're like took stuff out and put it back in. I love that.
It's supposed to be very effective. I don't think that it would necessarily take care of it by now, but so it's just like an ongoing saga of my elbow.
Well, before
interfering
you
with
got
my
on
enjoyment.
here, and I'm sorry you're suffering with that. Before you got on here too, we were talking about that new research is coming out about menopause and things that happen like frozen shoulder and joint stuff. So perhaps maybe
Yeah.
there's a hormone that you can ask your doctor about that might help with recovery. I have no idea.
Yeah.
I'm
It's
not a
called
doctor.
alcohol.
I was going to say,
Yeah.
and
So you've
not
not been
playing
able
paddle
to
and
play.
pickle and tennis.
I know. I haven't.
You
I've
haven't
been
been able to
doing. I can't work
I still
out.
have
I can't do
golfer's elbow
anything.
from last summer. I'm
Ah.
still suffering from golfer's elbow from last summer.
Mhm.
I just can barely do a chaturanga. It's been
Really?
I did PT for 4 months.
I didn't even know you played golf.
I was taking golf lessons and they say to brush the ground. Well, I was smacking the ground, took it all in my elbow and
Oh,
I could barely in the beginning, I could barely use my arm to chopping vegetables for dinner. I could barely. So at least I can chop vegetables and play pickle again. But
Yeah.
Wow.
Elbows are, they're tough.
Yeah, it's tough.
Really, really
So
tough.
I'm hoping this
sorry.
helps. So I'm following the orders of the doctor and PT, and hopefully it'll get better.
I want to hear how that does for your elbow, though.
Yeah, thank you. I hope it helps. There's very successful dealing with tennis elbow, so hopefully that'll work.
Does anybody ever suggest the dry needling?
I've done dried needling. I've done cortisone shots. I'm doing. So now because I didn't realize that because it hurts, I keep it bent more often. So now I've developed, I forgot the term, my muscles have shortened or something, my ligaments, whatever it is. So he wants me to sleep keep my arm straight. So I just bought a brace to keep my arm straight. So when I sleep, my arm stays straight.
I had to sleep in a brace too.
Oh, you did?
Yes.
Yeah.
Very.
I don't know if I could do it. I wake up and my arms are asleep. I have to pick it up and move it.
Yeah, because then it falls asleep, and then you're like, it's like 500 pounds, and then
Yeah.
oh, I'm sorry, honey, I just smacked you, or I smacked myself, or whatever.
We've all done that, I'm sure.
For me, Rick knows, I sleep with a bunch of stones, right? So I go to bed and I have things I put on my face, and I kind of meditate before I go to sleep, and then at some point they fall all through the bed. And
Oh my
sometimes
God.
he'll wake up and there'll be rocks on his side. He'll be like, "What the
So
fuck are these
funny.
rocks? Get these rocks
What
out
are
of
they
the fucking
for?
bed."
What are they for?
Well, there's clear quartz, there's labradorite, it helps with grounding
Energy.
or not those energy. Yeah. So a rose quartz or a whatever. So I've had like my dad's yard sites coming up on the 28th, and I've had dreams about him 3 nights in a row, and I haven't really had dreams about him in a while. And the last dream I had, it was one of those, and if those of you who've lost people, you can attest to when you get to see them and hug them and do the cry of, I miss you so much. That was one of those dreams. He was just coming off the tennis court in like this outfit that I know that he has, and I've been told he's playing tennis up there. And so I was just like, I got to hug him, and that was great.
It feels so good.
Yeah.
It feels so good.
It feels so
and
good.
Every time I have those dreams, my mom, and I'm hugging my mom, and she's like, what, are you so excited to see me? And I'm like, yeah. She's like, what, do you think I'm dead? And I'm like, Mom, you're dead. And then I wake up. And I'm like, yeah, you're dead. And then I wake up every time.
Yeah.
Hi, Julie.
Hi, Julie.
All right.
Hello,
We're all in the
ladies.
house. We've got our 2, Julie, otherwise known out in Spotify land as the P Whisperer. Nice that you joined us.
Oh my gosh.
All know about her skills.
Sorry, Julie. I'm sorry, Julie. I'm sorry.
Julie, what did you hope that Liz would have given you credit for? Remind me, other than urinating in public.
Hold on. I want to
and cheers and cheers and welcome to the crew, Julie.
Thank you.
Right.
Here, let me put you guys all on.
Mm-hmm.
Looking forward to this.
Yeah. Because Liz gave you credit for teaching her how to urinate in public, and we had a whole conversation about diapers and Stephie walking the dog.
Secretly.
Right.
And in the lake. Right. In the lake.
It's not so ladylike how you described it.
Well, we're not suggesting otherwise.
But hold on. I get my moment. I mean, it's more defending. It's a quiet moment behind a bush, not announcing it to everyone, or just, when you're out in nature for a couple hours. I'd rather enjoy nature and be in the presence, and you just quietly slip away.
To your credit, she was saying that she had shy pee before you set her straight. So it wasn't about the location. It was about the encouragement to let loose in an unfamiliar situation, which is, yeah.
I can let loose in many different situations.
Why don't you tell us in how many different places you've urinated, Julie? And so how would you like the listeners to know about one of your other superpowers besides that? Well, I mean, you just arrived, and, I know that you might have been a little upset that was your moniker, and I just wanted to give you a chance to sort of correct the record that actually, if I had to say what I want people to know me by, it would be,
Okay. I would think one of my superpowers is I'm very compassionate, and I'm a very good listener.
Agree.
So
wonderful.
I agree. So how about everybody else's? I'd like to hear.
Well, that's a good question. I sometimes ask my guests what their superpower is. So I'll start on my screen right now. I'm going to go around the room. So Liz, what do you think, if you had to say, we see you as, what do you think your superpower would be?
I think my superpower would be that, similar to Julie, I'm supportive. I would like to believe and that I'm there for people when they need me, want to talk, want me to listen, want me to just walk with them and not talk about it, and just to be present.
Mm-hmm. Debbie?
I mean, I would hope that that's how people would see me too. I think I'm known, like my superpower would be like baking, because I like show my love through baking.
Yeah.
So
I was hoping you were going to say that.
I'm not good at expressing my feelings verbally, so I do for others more than speak about it. So I think my family would say like baking. So and that might sound dumb, but that's how I show.
No. Food's a love language. Food is absolutely a love language.
Well, actions speak louder than words every time.
Yeah. Yeah. All right, Stephie.
I mean, I think I'm there for people. I think I'm a pretty good friend, but I don't know. My superpower would probably be my intuition. I think I get a definite intuition about situations and people. I can't explain it.
And Pam?
Probably I would say kindness, like being kind, and I love making people feel good. That's why I love sharing, like things that I share. I feel like I can help somebody. So I would say, kindness.
Ah, awesome. That's great. I love that.
Can I add something, since I was caught off guard and I'm going in another room where maybe it'll be a little bit not so visual? So I think the older I get, my superpower is living in the moment.
That's
I
a
would like
great
that one. I would like that one.
That is a good one.
It's like definitely living in the moment and, embracing the present and not looking towards the future. I really, really, really try to. Whoever I'm with, I want to focus on that.
Do you feel like there was a point in your life where you recognized there was a conscious shift from not being in the present to noticing that you are more?
Totally. When I was raising my children, I was always having to look forward. And I think now I have this luxury of living in the present more and being conscious of it, where I always tried to, but didn't succeed as well. And I think it's just with age and with a little bit more time, being able to pause.
That's great. Yeah. I mean, would you all I can agree with that. Like, when you're in the young mommy mode and you're a little frenzied and frazzled, it is more of a luxury. I would agree with that term, that we've got the luxury of some more time to breathe. I mean, of course, I think we all come to the mat that way too. Like, that's what it teaches us, to be present. But even in those moments, like, I'm guilty of it. Like, I think I've described this, like Pam knows, like the first couple of years I even started yoga, I'd be in Shavasana, I'd be like, Jamba Juice, I got to go to sunset. What am I going to do next? And then that sort of settles. So, yeah, I like that you showed that.
Well, I don't do yoga.
But
I never feel like I can get there.
But you have.
I do it. I do
But
it
you have.
for the physical benefit, and I wish so much I could get the mental benefit, but I don't. I can't. I haven't done it in a long time, but physically I can't anymore.
I get mine a little bit differently.
Pam would say,
I don't get my mental meditation, if you will, through yoga, though I enjoy yoga a lot.
Mm-hmm.
I get it through walking or swimming without music, completely silent. So I'm more of a walking meditation kind of thing. And I talk to myself.
Right.
I really do. I talk myself into stuff. I talk myself out of stuff. I give myself pep talks, the whole thing.
That's awesome. And we would all agree, like, yes, even Pam, I learned from you that even the people like Debbie coming to yoga for the physical still get the yoga, whether they know it or not, however you describe it. And I always tell people, you can do yoga in a variety of ways, Liz, just like you described. For me, sometimes it's the bike ride or the dog walk or the shower. And so, yeah, it doesn't always have to be this structured environment, just where you bring yourself into balance and center.
And presence. Bringing yourself into presence.
And presence.
Anything that feels good.
All right, so anything that feels good. Now it's time for Joy on the 5. All right, you guys. So before we all got together, I sent you a little text and I said, we're going to talk about this. So Pam, what was your moment of joy in that moment?
So one is, I was just setting up for this, and the way the iPad is, the mountains, looking at the mountains and the sun. Like, I've been sick all week. I've been in bed for 5 days straight. Haven't worked out, haven't done anything. And like, I'm finally feeling a little better. And so just having the sun and the mountains just made me so happy. And then Max had sent a bunch of pictures. He's teaching at a school, an after school program, and he's teaching the kids how to play D&D.
Oh, God.
It is so cute, so Max.
Cute.
And the pictures of the kids and Max teaching it, they were so cute. And that brought me a lot of joy.
Oh, I love that. All right, Stephie.
You literally texted me when I was walking my dog. So, that's like my favorite thing to do. The sun was out. The birds were chirping. I was outside with nature. Like, nothing brings me more joy than being outside and just hearing birds and the kids playing and some kids shooting hoops. Like, just felt really good to just be outside.
That's awesome. Liz?
I had a few today too. Before Zoom, Danny and I took a long drive, and the mountains and the mule deer and the goats and the cows and the birds and everything, because I'm in Colorado, was spectacular. And it's beautiful. It's like 50 degrees here and everything's gorgeous. But what really brought me joy, and when you did text me, my sister Mary had pretty major surgery yesterday, and it was a scary day. It was a very long surgery, and it didn't go super well, but she turned a corner, and I just gotten off the phone with my brother-in-law, and she's doing great.
Good.
And I'm going there to see her tomorrow. So that brings me the best joy.
Well, we're wishing her prayers for speedy healing, and thank you for sharing that. And Debbie?
Other than the weather here, sunny every day, but seeing all of you brought me joy. The fact I haven't seen you in such a long time, and I'm always so happy when we're at Norton's or doing whatever. So that's what brought me joy today, getting to see all of you.
We're glad that you're here, and cheers again. And Julie, what when I texted you, did you have time to pause?
I did, because I was waiting. Yes, I actually did. I did. And I will say, I will echo Debbie and say first to see all of you, because I do think girl power helps us all, and friendships do. So that was number one. And number two, I have been lucky for a few months to have two of my three boys under my roof, and it's ending very, very soon. And it's to have dinner with them tonight. So again, like the older I get, my joy, what makes me happy is simpler things in life. And where before, when I was younger, it was getting dinner on the table and feeding everyone. And now it's like an art, and it's feeding them from the heart, like Debbie said. And I get them at my table.
Rick and I had dinner a couple of weeks ago with a friend of his from his softball team, and I have to share with you guys. I aspired, and I actually made stromboli the other day because he had made stromboli. We showed up. It was so adult. Like the table was set.
Tell Stromboli.
Stromboli is like, you can appreciate this because they took, although you can't do it, Stephie, because of the gluten, but Trader Joe's has pre-made pizza dough, although they have gluten-free pizza dough pre-made. And basically you like roll out a pizza dough and you fill it with whatever the fuck.
So
and you roll it, meats or cheeses or vegetables, and you roll it up and you cook it.
Yeah.
And so like everything was set, and the table was set, and there was a tablecloth, and they basically said this is what they do every night. And I'm thinking, that's amazing. So so a little more this week, I would say I've been playing music during dinner versus like sometimes we'll have TV dinners where we're catching up on a show, which is fine. And however you want to roll it, it was just like sort of inspirational to like you just shared, like cooking is, I mean, everybody shared. It's love and it's art. And when you have the time to do it, I installed a warming drawer when we redid our kitchen because of all the sports. And without that, no one would have had a hot meal at various times of night. And so the luxury of having just a regular schedule or no one else here, we get to make our own schedule. So my joy, if I can share too, is, I was thinking about when I sent you guys text, I was like so joyful that we were including some extra people, and just to be able to ask my friends what brings them joy. You two might not be as familiar, but my mission is to bring more joy into the world. And when we set an alarm to do so, however many times we want to do that in a day, it really just cultivates more joy. So whether you call that being present or, sometimes people need that reminder to actually set an alarm to do that. And so for everybody out there who might be having a shitty day, set an alarm a few times during your day, and 5 minutes to the hours, because that's when we get our news, weather, and traffic. And I want to include joy in that.
Lauri, to piggyback on what you were just saying, I did see a couple who they had very stressful jobs, and they would come home and they were exhausted at the end of the day, and they would just like throw everything up or be cranky or whatever you do when you get to a safe zone. And instead, what they decided to do is throughout the day, to pause and take a picture or take a moment and write it down so that when they got home to be with each other, those are the things that they would share, or they would share it and send it to their, I don't know if they were married or not, whatever, to their partner or their spouse during the day. Right. Literally going across the street to get a cup of coffee from him.
I was just going to say, they sent a picture of a cup of coffee. I remember that.
Yeah. It was neat. And it was neat. So it was just very much to your point, to try to bring it out, try to push out the negative as best you can and enjoy the little things, the cup of coffee, the bird, the mule deer, whatever you have cooking for your kids, having your kids at home.
What's a mule deer? Because I was going to circle back to you. What is a mule deer?
It looks like it's got an elk tushy. And it's just, it's fluffier. It's thicker. It's denser. And they're just so yummy. And they just they prance and they follow.
Does it make the same sound as like the donkey makes? Like hee-haw, hee-haw.
No, they're pretty silent.
They're deer.
Like,
I think they're just like a cold weather deer.
They're thicker. They've got like a thicker furry coat a thicker coat on them.
Huh.
So they're called mule deer.
All right. Now I know something. Speaking of nature and animals, did you guys see Tom Hanks is narrating this new show, The Americas?
I did. I saw the first
yet.
part.
It is delicious. If you grew up like loving National Geographic or like, Mutual of Omaha Wild Kingdom, it is fantastic. I highly recommend it. It's just wonderful. The photography and the things they capture is amazing. So I would recommend that to you guys. Yeah.
And what's it on, did you say? What channel?
It's on a bunch of channels, I noticed, but it's called The Americas, and you can find it a lot of places. So I came back from the wedding with some crud. But like in terms of like intuition, Stephie and everybody else, like, Mars just went direct. So like there's this whole energetic sort of like, I don't know if you feel it, but there's this like uppityness. We came out of like this period of like sluggishness. And now there's like a little bit of a push. Sometimes ascension symptoms and astrological stuff does affect us energetically that way. I haven't been sick since even before COVID. And I ended up going on antibiotics. I contracted a sinus infection after all that. But it was just so odd to just sort of like, I was in a slow down mode. And in fact, we were meant to be in a slow down mode because now we're like getting out. And of course, it coincides with the weather getting better. But has anybody else been feeling a little bit of strange energy?
Yeah, yes, for sure. The last week, yes.
Yeah. Anybody else?
I mean,
we're like, I don't believe in that.
No, I will not. I'm doing okay. Danny just got over something, but just a cold.
Okay.
Just a cold.
All right.
Yeah,
Well,
there's so much going around right now. So
I
many.
know. I'd like to keep it all away.
yeah,
I know.
Just like, shh, I know.
But I did just read that if you are born, I think in 1966, there's a couple of years that our immunity to measles may not be great because the measles vaccine that they gave us, the MMR back in the day, may not. So I think we should get checked.
I heard that too, Stephie.
Me too, that there's a few years, like 5-6 years, that we are not completely protected, and it could be us.
Do you remember getting measles? I remember walking down from the nurse's office to get my measles vaccine in kindergarten, in school.
Yep.
And it was like this big gun in my arm, and I cried. I remember.
Yes.
It was like poltergeist. The hall was so long. I was like,
We all had it.
I have a scar from the
Yeah,
one
right?
Oh yeah, you got the circle.
Yeah, the
I have
circle.
that too.
I have one. I don't have a circle.
I don't either.
Okay.
I don't have
I
a
don't know if I
circle
can
either.
see it anymore, but I used to.
No circle.
Huh.
Yeah.
Maybe
Yeah.
it's here. I don't
Well,
remember.
it's like the blog I just wrote about the Sneetches. Like, we've got circles or we don't have circles. We're all still human,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And Pam, thank you for that inspiration to update my website to make it easier for people to actually see what the fuck I'm doing.
I just couldn't find it. I didn't mean for you to feel like you needed to do something.
No,
but
I
was
wasn't. It was with gratitude.
What did you
Believe me.
do?
I went to look for her blog.
I can never find your blog either, to be
Well,
honest with you.
Now you can, because it was under a Learn With Me tab, and now it says blogs and podcasts.
Oh, good, because that was
But it's like shit like that. Like I take it for granted. Like we all take certain things for granted, that we're good cooks or good people or good teachers or good philanthropists and all the stuff that we do, right? But when someone's actually pinning you down to say, explain this, well, then it's like, if I have to explain it, then I must not be doing my job. So it was a gratitude moment. It wasn't like criticism at all. But we do walk around being awesome as we are, right? And so sometimes when we're being asked to just explain why we're awesome, it's a nice thing.
Well, I think when your friends give you a suggestion and you know it's coming from a place of love, it doesn't make you feel uncomfortable. It makes you feel like, oh, like, thank you. And Pam has given a lot of those suggestions when I was, but it was out of love. And like,
Well, we have to clarify that a little bit, because you guys were in my teacher training programs. So I did give lots of suggestions then.
but they were very helpful.
Right. Well, and plus it's like, and I think this has to do with age too, like how we receive, if we're able to be coachable is what I call it. If we do know what you're saying, Stephie, the intention behind it is kindness or helpfulness, then that's great. But it still doesn't mean that's going to be received how we intend it. And so when you have work to do on yourself, no matter what somebody's saying to you, you're not going to necessarily hear it with that intention.
That's true. That's accurate.
Yeah.
I agree.
It's so interesting because I don't know why I just thought of this, but like, raising our kids, they're coachable, or you want them to be coachable because we're guiding them and giving direction to them 24/7. Like, why don't we do this? Or like, let's do that. And at some point they get in their teens and they become really
Oh my God, do they ever?
uncoachable, right? And it's a different web. I think, and with an open heart, when you become coachable again.
Yeah.
When you want to learn about yourself.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And may we always be open to learning about ourselves.
Yeah.
Right. Because life's too short to think that we have it all figured out. And which is why the boardroom, however small or big it is so important. Right. And so the way that we've connected these dots, without Liz, I wouldn't know you so well, Julie. Without Pam, I wouldn't know you so well, Debbie. And I think, like in the neighborhood too, like we just wouldn't necessarily know each other. And the fact that we all include each other is such a gift as well. And however the circle keeps expanding is just so wonderful.
Well said.
I just want to say your superpower took effect today, Lauri, because I've been, dealing with some issues going on here and feeling sorry for myself today. And you reached out to me and said, what's making you happier? I forgot how you phrased it.
Joy
I was
in
like,
the moment.
wow, I'm going to have to really think about that one. Like you kind of stumped me and it made me look at things differently. And thank you for that.
Oh, you're very welcome.
That's what you bring to other people.
Oh, thank you.
And that's really
Thank you.
important.
Oh, I received that. Thank you.
Yay.
This is a wrap. What do you think?
Before it's a wrap, I can't wait to see you all. It really does warm my day to see all your faces and miss you.
Yeah.
I'm deeply connected and to you guys, and you make me happy. So as soon as we're all back, let's hit it.
Yeah.
Yeah, love that. Absolutely.
Physically, Debbie, may you be able to hit it actually. And
Thank you.
Julie,
Yeah.
Julie, you're a fucking beast on the court. I told you. I told you when we played, I was like, God, I hate her, but I love her. Oh my God. Like, she's so hard. She's just so good. And I was
she's
like,
so good. But I love her when she runs up. She goes, I got this biscuit.
Yeah.
I got this biscuit.
Well, there are fun lines that go with each hit too. You just got to be on my side of the court.
I have to get used to your lines. I didn't know that. I'm going to hit this biscuit. I like that.
I can still picture Debbie yelling at me, get up, get up. She's like, get up. And then I tell her, like, move up. And she's like, get up there. I'm like, damn it, I hate you.
You all will get on-court nicknames from me. So just and they hit organically. It's not like
I got to be ready to play that game
so.
then because I got to be on my game. I just, I was so competitive for so long with tennis. To play Pickle is such a joy, and like the music, and we're dancing, and like, and then Julie shows up. It's like, hit the fucking ball, and I'm like,
and the cocktail.
I want to hit the ball too, and I do like to win. You guys know that for sure, and I love my overhead smash. But at the end of the day, it's just like we're out there and we're together, and it's like fine. But yeah, I still want to win, to be honest.
More fun.
Yeah, it is more fun. All right, ladies. Well, thank you so much.
Thank you.
And we will definitely do this again. I love and respect and appreciate all of
Feel better,
you.
Pam.
Thank you.
Bye, guys.
Bye, everyone.